You ever walk into a room thinking you're the star and realize you were just invited out of politeness? That's what happened to Meghan and Harry, except the room was a Paramount boardroom and the exit sign was already glowing. Reports say Meghan and Harry quietly pitched themselves to Paramount's top execs, hoping for a fresh start after their Netflix disaster. But insiders say it didn't go the way they planned. In fact, it ended in a quiet rejection from the very top.
End of every episode, it says, like, the starring, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex.
Yes.
That's how she's mornings are as I get the kids off to school. You're making fruit parfait crudité boards? Like,
oh my God.
whom?
Did you see my baby mama dance? I mean, stop it. First of all, can I just tell you the timing of that? We maybe watched it like 20 times yesterday. And I was like, is that her?
Oh my God.
Is that Prince Harry there with the fingers and the, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, by the way, that wasn't yesterday.
No,
that was 4 years ago. So it's also a really great reminder that with all the noise or whatever people do, there's still a whole life, a real, authentic, fun life that's happening behind the scenes. I'm just grateful that now, being back on social as well, I have a place where I can share it on my own terms.
Let's break down what went down behind the scenes and why the industry is finally done playing nice. Reports say Meghan and Harry recently arranged a discreet, in-person meeting with senior executives at Paramount Global, hoping to reset their media careers after the implosions at Spotify and Netflix. This wasn't just a check-in, it was a full-blown pitch session. Their goal? Land a major development deal under Archwell. Fast. Sources say the duo arrived with polished slides, buzzword-heavy vision decks, and big energy.
Harry Sussex? I have no idea. And no, Meghan, no one knew that. Like, why are you correct?
I'm going to show you how to make a happy, warm, loving home after I have successfully severed my husband's ties from his entire family.
Meghan reportedly positioned herself as a lifestyle powerhouse ready to lead a feminine-forward content era, while Harry offered angles around resilience, military heroism, and mental health visibility. But what should have been an exciting conversation felt, according to insiders, like a cold, quiet audition. Executives were reportedly respectful, but reserved. There were no excited follow-up questions. No collaboration talk. No let's circle back enthusiasm. Just nods, note-taking, and a vague thank you.
That really backfired not just on whatever was left of her image, or even, of course, what she actually likes to pretend herself as some form of an actress, as some kind of a personality, whatever it may be.
No, the world's biggest victims right now are the Duke and Duchess of Netflix, and don't take my word for it.
This promise of once you're married, how hard I tried, no matter how good I was, no matter what I did, they were still going to find a way.
This woman is a born manipulator. The Netflix thing, she doesn't do the work. She don't make the jams. It's all made for her.
One source close to the situation said bluntly, it was clear from the moment they left the room. This was going nowhere. Even worse, some insiders claim the CEO himself delivered the final word behind closed doors. We've seen the headlines. We've seen the Netflix numbers. We're not looking to become their next failed platform.
Well, good evening from London. Welcome to Piers Morgan Uncensored. Today, Harry and Meghan torched what little was left of their relationship with the royal family and what little was left, frankly, of their own reputations. Last week was mostly sickish old revelations with a new twist. As it turns out, we've apparently been wrong all along. Britain is a nasty, racist hellhole where only magnificent Meghan stood up to all this. And
So much fun.
You and I are so similar. You and I...
With your guests, when was the last time you were surprised and delighted?
Last night, and also this morning, but last night when I went back to my hotel, and then you'd put your thumbprint in, which is what makes it a fun group activity, and you could fill it with jam, you could do chocolate, anything you like, of course.
That wasn't a rejection. That was a reputational reality check. Let's talk expectations versus reality. According to reports, Meghan and Harry came into the Paramount meeting acting like brand builders. They offered big-picture ideas like authentic storytelling, female resilience, and redefining royal influence.
Once they did, I remember being told there was a huge headline like, we found him or we've got him. You're talking about someone's father. And from that point, the tabloids, they moved into the apartment next door and across from him.
Did it feel like betrayal when you found out your father was working with the tabloids?
I'm just trying to decide if I'm comfortable even talking about that.
The whole Meghan Markle situation has been getting out of control, not just over at Netflix, but also at other studios ever since she posted that viral video, that pregnancy video.
They had mood boards, case studies, and new Archewell content pillars. But what they didn't have? Deliverables. One source said execs were confused because there was no new IP, no sample pilots, no success metrics from their Netflix or Spotify deals. They wanted to pitch hope.
As ever, her new company, the very first thing she said was, look, when I had the TIG, which was her previous lifestyle website, I loved cooking and I loved gardening and being a hostess, and that she basically said I had to keep my light under a bushel at this time because of the royal family. Then we get her show, her Netflix show.
Everybody says she's a bully. She's very nasty. Not only is she incredibly controlling, but she's a bitch about.
Paramount wanted proof. Even worse, executives were reportedly caught off guard by how little had changed since their last public rollout.
She talks like she's a one-woman band. That is not hard work. Hard work is get up in the morning, get to 7 o'clock, get into a factory or a shop and working for 10 hours on your feet, coming home knackered. That's not what happens to her.
And still being a mom.
That is
still
not
being
what
a
happens to
mom.
her.
Yeah. Oh, it's so great. It's so authentic, isn't it?
And timing didn't help. Their Netflix relationship was still publicly unraveling, with media reports already surfacing about canceled projects and broken communication. Paramount didn't want to inherit someone else's problem while it was still leaking. So, what happened next? Nothing. There was no follow-up call. No creative workshop. Not even a vague "let's touch base." Just a soft industry no, the kind that doesn't need to be spoken out loud.
What matters is what we have on the inside.
Oh my gosh, I worked so hard.
Meghan Markle, she may have stepped down from royal duties more than 5 years ago, but she keeps taking aim at the monarchy. The Duchess of Sussex has made reportedly at least half a dozen swipes at the royal family this year, and it's only June.
Once word of the cold rejection leaked through back channels, it didn't stay in whispers for long. Entertainment insiders jumped on the story instantly. One celebrity podcast host called it a wake-up call for the Sussex PR machine. A popular influencer tweeted, Paramount listened to the pitch, offered a polite smile, and walked them straight to the exit. And a viral TikTok with over 3 million views stitched Meghan's past interview clips with this caption. She's not being silenced. She's being skipped. Even longtime fan pages started hesitating. Some stopped posting entirely. Others began shifting their content to include disclaimers like, "We support Meghan, but we need to see action." That's not loyalty. That's fatigue. And perhaps the sharpest cut came from an anonymous industry producer who warned others. If Paramount passed on them this early, they saw red flags the public hasn't even caught up to yet. The message was loud and clear. This wasn't just a few voices, stylists, influencers, even fellow podcasters who try to soften the blow. They're evolving. It's just a shift.
But now?
Nothing. Sources say Archewell's PR team has become increasingly cautious, only approaching platforms they consider low risk and avoiding any outlets that might ask about results. Former go-to publications like People and Vanity Fair have gone from glowing headlines to generic press blurbs. No exclusives. No interviews. Just silence and summary. Even entertainment reporters who once had friendly access to Archewell are being shut out. One reporter said off the record, "They're operating like they're still in demand, but the phones just aren't ringing anymore." And it's not just the media. Branding experts, consultants, and production firms that once lined up to collaborate with Meghan are backing away. They're seeing what Paramount saw, a pattern of overpromising, underdelivering, and expecting Image to do the heavy lifting. One branding strategist summed it up perfectly to a client. They're in career quicksand. Every move just sinks them deeper. Hollywood isn't canceling Meghan and Harry. It's ghosting them, and that's so much worse. At this point, it's not a coincidence. It's a pattern. Let's connect the dots. Spotify handed them $20 million and expected podcast magic. What did they get? One season of archetypes, questionable production effort, and an exit so messy insiders called Meghan and Harry not productive. Netflix locked them into a $100 million mega deal, the kind A-listers dream of. And what came of it? One docuseries that made headlines for a week, a scrapped animated project, Pearl, and nothing else to show for it. Archewell, hyped as their media empire, was supposed to reinvent modern storytelling. Instead, a handful of mission statements, some vague partnerships, and a jam jar stunt that got more laughs than orders. Let's talk about that for a second. American Riviera Orchard was meant to be Meghan's elegant pivot into the Martha Stewart lifestyle lane. But what did it actually give us? A soft launch that didn't go anywhere. Gift baskets sent to her rich friends, not the public. A logo, a mood, and no inventory. It went viral for all the wrong reasons. One post said it best. "We waited 6 months for jelly." The Paramount meeting isn't some isolated misstep. It's part of an ongoing trail of high-profile letdowns where every promise sounds beautiful on paper, but dies in development. The only thing the Sussexes have consistently delivered? Unfinished ideas and overhyped plans. Here's the harsh truth. Meghan and Harry have a formula.
And it doesn't work.
It always starts with a splashy announcement. Vague language, big buzzwords, emotional stakes. Empowerment. Voices. Untold stories. Then comes the teaser. Stay tuned. Coming soon. Changing the game. Then silence.
Distraction.
Rebranding.
Repeat.
Insiders say Paramount wasn't fooled. One source said bluntly, they pitched as if they'd never dropped the ball at Spotify or Netflix. It was all what's next and no accountability for what's failed. That's not vision. That's delusion. Even the public is picking up on it. Reddit threads are now archiving their unfulfilled projects like a digital graveyard. TikTok creators are stitching their old promises next to headlines about rejections. One viral post said, "Meghan's not trying to create. She's trying to relaunch the same pitch in a new outfit." This isn't just a slow rollout. It's credibility collapse. And once you lose trust in Hollywood, you're not rebuilding it with quotes and jam jars. Meghan built her public brand around 3 words: truth, strength, and strategy. But when the outcomes don't match the messaging, the mask slips.
And right now,
it's slipping fast. Reports say the Archewell website has gone stale. No fresh updates, no pivot plan, not even a soft denial about the Paramount fallout. The projects section? Quietly deleted. No explanation. Instead, we get the same response we always get when something collapses. A highly filtered Instagram moment. A handwritten style quote about healing or hope. A cryptic post about what's coming next. But fans aren't inspired anymore. They're irritated. Comment sections that once defended Meghan are now filled with polite but direct comments like, "Can we stop with the vibes and start with actual work?" She talks about transparency but disappears when things go wrong. She promotes vulnerability but never takes ownership of failed deals. She claims to be building but keeps posting from Montecito, not a boardroom. At some point, a public persona can't survive on tone alone. And Meghan's? It's starting to fracture in real time. Hollywood has a quiet, brutal way of cutting you off. They don't tell you you're finished. They just stop showing up. That's what Meghan and Harry are dealing with now. Sources say they've reached out to smaller platforms, international partners, and podcast startups, even exploring options outside of entertainment entirely. But domestically, the big dogs are done. One studio exec said privately, "No one wants to be the next headline. They're too risky. Too much drama, not enough product." And here's where it gets darker. Even the people who once championed them are going radio silent. Tyler Perry, who once gave them his own home and security team, hasn't posted about them in months. No Instagram tags. And no public appearances together. No retweets of Archewell news. Even Oprah, who gave them their most iconic platform moment, has gone quiet. Not because they're enemies, but because it's strategic to step away. That's how the industry works. You're not canceled. You're just ignored. Forgotten.
Erased.
And the worst part? Once Hollywood moves on, it rarely circles back. And right now, Meghan and Harry are standing at the edge of that door, watching it close with no one on the other side. So what's next? Expect a pivot, a new creative announcement, maybe another soft-focus Instagram comeback. But the truth is, everyone's seen this movie before. The Paramount rejection isn't just another no. It's the moment the curtain dropped and the audience realized the show's over. Meghan and Harry didn't just lose another deal. They lost the room. And this time, no one's opening the door.